Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spider Man, well, Sam Raimi Spider Man, deep dive analysis. Well, as deep as we can get.
Just dive.
just, a, just a dive analysis into this. We're going to try and talk as much sentimental and um, distinct elements as we can, but we can't promise you anything, folks. Okay? We're talking about Sam Raimi over here. We're talking about surface level shit. You know, this guy wants to show you something. It's there. He's not gonna code it up with some, subtle clues and hints and Easter eggs. Nope. Just might as well put a spotlight on it and then point to it and say Easter egg, because that's pretty much most of the things that you might have missed in this movie. But we can't deny the fact that this has been quite nostalgic because these movies so far have been a huge impact in our childhood. 2004, how old were you?
14.
13.
14.
So how did do you remember watching this movie in the theater?
Uh, can't really recall, to be honest.
I was going to
I
ask you
think,
which theater you watched it at.
I don't know actually if I was watching movies at the theater, but for
What are
Spider
you
Man,
going to do? You
probably
can't pirate a 2004. You got to get shitty ass VCDs, you know?
true. VCD.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not DVDs, VCDs. Yeah.
VCD. The V in VLC is VCD.
Yeah. Yeah. There's long as movies back then couldn't fit into one VCD, so you had to have parts. It's
Ah,
ridiculous.
that's so bad. Oh my god. 3 discs for like The Dark Knight.
Shrek 1 had like 6 discs.
Holy shit. Yeah,
Oh,
times were rough. But yeah, no, I don't remember the theater actually. 14. I was in high school. Yeah.
yeah, I remember this one. This one we watched in Square One. Went with my brother and my cousin, and yeah, I just remember just like wiling out because I was Doctor Octopus was such a cool villain in the comics and in the TV show that to finally see him being played live action was like a almost like a dream come true. You know, because you could go the easy way and you go like lizard and just
Yeah,
have a
she's been
dude
there.
in a yeah, you know what I mean. You can go like vulture and have a dude with wings, or you can like do shocker with electricity. But this is octopus where his main weapons is something that's hard to do on a cinematic level without making it look stupid. You know, and the arms that he has in this fucking movie, I can't tell when they're CGI or fucking practical sometimes. That's how good it is.
Crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
Um, but yeah, I was 15, I guess, because I think I'm a year older than you. Didn't have a date to take with me, so decided to go with my brother and my cousin, which is better because just like this movie, I can't. Sometimes you have to give up the things that you want to be stable.
Oh, oh, like white, like white in the background.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
getting I'm getting choked right now from octopus arms. Even your dreams.
oh, and
Um. Anyways, let's get to this. Spider-Man 2, 2004, Sam Raimi. The opening scene is once again still straight to the title card. No playing around. No, prologue of a scene to set it up. And we also get a nice montage of artwork that pretty much gives us a recap from the first movie. Little highlights like Peter getting his powers, fighting the wrestling dude, Ben Parker getting shot. Um, what else is there? Jay Jonas Jameson was there, which he plays a big part in this again, and of course Green Goblin, rest in peace, one of the best villains of all time, and a little foreshadowing with a little transition from Norman Osborn to Harry Osborn's face. Kind of gives you idea of what he might become next, you know?
Ah!
Avenge me!
No!
No, I
Ah!
won't avenge you. Anyways, right from that, from the artwork transition into the first shot, which is a billboard of MJ. So we see that she has somewhat pursued her career in the show business, like what she was talking about in the first movie. And this glimpse is also the same outward look that is reflected on the closing shot of the movie. So it's pretty nice that it's like the opening shot is the same thing as the closing shot, which we're going to talk about more later because if you really think about it, that ending shot doesn't really look like a very happy MJ. So talk about that. Yeah, I'll talk about that later. Meanwhile, Peter is working as a pizza delivery boy for Joe's Pizza, which is his staple job um, from the comics. That's what he's sort of known for. It's not a high-paying job, so you already get to see where Peter's status is when it comes to his financial situation. Same thing as the last movie. This man is broke. You know what I'm saying? But he's also doing work as Spider-Man at the same time. So this guy's trying to deliver pizzas and save people from crime, which is pretty much the main lesson of this movie. That you can't juggle them all, man. You know what I'm saying? Being Spider-Man in your life is not a luxury. It's pain. Being a hero is painful. And this is something that he has to realize and sort of go through this entire movie. And with that, it's all bad luck because in the beginning shot already, um, he can't manage time, right? He has to deliver 8 pizzas for Aziz in 46 blocks.
Crazy. I
And
love
he,
the shot.
and he has 7.5 minutes. What does Aziz say? Go! that's what. That's
Yo,
my.
is that Rainbow?
Is that the comedian?
Yeah, like I swear I know that guy.
It's a comedian, but I don't know. I
Cause
haven't watched enough of his stuff.
that's so funny. Cause like I recognize this guy from Much Music as a VJ, like from time ago.
Maybe.
Yeah. So is that Rainbow? I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah. Go. That's what he said. And Peter he tries to use the little bike that he has to try to get there on time, but honestly that's almost impossible, so he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna become Spider-Man. I'm gonna swing through the city with these pizzas. And guess who spots him? Yep, Ashy Larry. Ashy Larry is like, whoa, that guy stole he stole that guy's
That
pizza.
pizza. Yo, Ashley Larry is amazing at like expression and delivery.
Absolutely, man. This
So they
his the way he speaks his words is funny enough already. Like
it's just at peak Chappelle, like 2004.
2004. Yeah, I would say so. Probably like second
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
when I'm rich, bitch. You know.
Oh, it would have been sick if we saw Charlie Murphy in this movie.
Let
I
me
was
see.
watching a bunch of Charlie Murphy today.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's good, man. You gotta go like that, right? You gotta shake your head a little bit. Daniel Rawlings, if you guys don't know who he was a big comedian and part of the Dave Chappelle show. Was pretty much sketch comedy that played at night, and that was our childhood, man. That was one of the best sketch
Yeah.
comedy shows of the era. And he played a character named Ashy Larry, who was really bad at dice, and his wife kept telling him to take out the trash, but he would secretly go down to the basement. And man, that scene of him blowing and then just Ashy Larry, son. Anyways, yeah, Peter results to being Spider-Man, but he did make it regardless of the pizza time that he got there.
It got changed. It took too long.
Yeah, he should have just went in there as Spider Man. Like, who cares? They're not gonna know who the hell you are. And those boxes look extra damaged as well. So, yeah, I think either way he would have gotten some complaints. But that was it. You know, as he said, that was his last chance. So he gets fired. He rips fucking sticker off his helmet. You don't work for Joe's Pizza anymore. And also the address for Joe's Pizza is on Bleecker Street.
Oh,
And
nice.
stream, sorry, or chat or whatever internet. You guys already know who else lives on Bleecker Street. It's the mystical
Does he live
arts
there?
master.
Does he, or does he work there?
Uh, we're at Bleecker Street. Oh, at the Sanctum. I think he lives there too.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure he has like a little bunk bed there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he needs to. I think his spirit just sleeps for him or something like that.
True. Or his spirit like watches.
Yeah, and he sleeps. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, he loses delivery job. Then he goes to JJ, and he also almost loses that job because he refuses to give them any more Spider-Man pictures because he doesn't like the fact that they're kind of bashing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Pretty much fake news,
I
right?
like his pictures though. His pictures in New York. That's nice. You see that?
Oh yeah, those are nice. As a photographer, what would you rate those photos?
Pretty high because this was like, he was still using film,
Hmm.
and yeah, it looks good.
What kind of artistic style was that? Expressionism
I don't
or
know, just like lifestyle, pretty much.
slice of life, candid New York, you know, like a concrete jungle. It's like a living organism on its own. That's what Peter
Yeah,
Parker wanted to portray to Jameson, but he
he
doesn't
doesn't
see it.
care.
He just wants pictures of Spider Man. Okay, that's what JJ said.
I don't.
Uh,
He said, "I don't pay you to be an artiste."
yeah, dude, his lines are so good, man.
I don't pay you to be an artiste.
Uh, but he gives in because JJ was about to put out a headline about poisonous water supplies. He's like, I can't let fake news come around. He gave him a picture of Spider Man, which ultimately saved his job as well. Uh, and JJ said, "Good job," but he wants more pictures of Spider Man. I love the line, "Sir, your wife called and she lost the checkbook," and he's like, "Thanks for the good news."
I like the dynamic of the newsroom because they have to be always talking, right? Someone always has to be talking.
Yeah, there's no
That's how
dead air. Yeah.
busy, that's how busy the Daily Bugle is. So that's why it's like good scenes. But and there's this dude who's always like devil's advocate. But JJ,
Oh, the guy with the glasses?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea, JJ. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
And then we have Ed as well, who is sort of the voice of reason in the Daily Bugle. And I think he low key knows who Spider Man is because he gave,
Yo,
Toby
he
a
gives
little
him the
glimpse.
look
Yeah,
always.
he's like, hmm,
Yeah.
this guy's not right.
He's not dumb.
Yeah, yeah. Like, how else would you get amazing pictures of Spider Man, right?
Like close up near the building.
Yeah, dude, the picture he gave them was of him swinging in the middle of the street.
Yeah, it's like such. He's using a selfie stick. Like,
Yeah, he's probably a spider photographer. That's what he is. Um, but once again, Peter can't get a break through this entire movie, and a lot of it is just shown through like small little comical quips. Like uh, him always missing the last martini, the last hors d'oeuvres, him tripping on the sidewalk. Like this guy, he can't. He just lost his job, almost lost another one. When he dropped his books on the way to school, people just kept knocking him around with their book bags. This
it's
guy's
just,
bad luck.
this guy's a fucking loser.
He's not wrong, you know. But that's what makes his disguise work even better because a loser like him can't be Spider Man. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect disguise.
Um, anyways, Peter goes to school, gets fucking pummeled by book bags, and completely missed class, led by Dr. Connor, who is a amputee. He has no one. He has one arm, which is, a foreshadow that he might be a future villain, because from the comics he is, as you know, Lizard or Mr. Lizard. Is that or
Make
just?
it reptile.
I think that's Mortal Kombat. Reptile is.
Oh,
I think it's Lizard. Lizzie the Lizard. I think that's what his name is.
Lizzie. Yeah, he's just called Lizard.
Oh, it's just Lizard. Yeah. Because he wanted to grow his arm back, and lizards are known to regrow limbs, and he wanted to test himself, turned him into a lizard.
Pretty cool. Some science right there. It is kind of crazy that lizards can do that, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Right?
like reproducing like severed cells. Crazy.
Very, very fast.
Yeah, and like back to the way it was too. Like the same length, the same everything. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
What's even more amazing is they can let go of it on command.
What do you mean?
Like if they sense danger and you grab them by the tail, they let
Oh
go,
yeah, yeah.
and you're like, okay, how?
Imagine that, dude. As a human being, it's just like you're under arrest. No, I'm not. Slice.
I'll just
Peace.
grow back a new one.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you watch too.
Oh shit. This guy's Terminator T1000. Um,
Rolex.
we also learned that he's struggling in class, so he's struggling in university. Like he's almost gets fired from his job. He's broke, pretty much, and now he's struggling with his studies. This is not the Peter Parker that we once knew from the first one, and this is pretty much showing us how much of a toll heroism is taking on him in his daily life. You can't be Peter Parker no more, bro. You're always gonna be Spider Man. He's trying to juggle everything all at once, and Peter mentioned he's writing a paper on Dr. Octavius. That's a little clue for later on, because we know that he's the Doc Ock. That's what I call him. There's no space between Doc Ock. It's just Doc Ock, because he's a Doc Ock. He's a dick. He's a dick in this movie. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. You.
Peter goes home, forgets it's his birthday. Sorry, he goes to Aunt May's house, forgets his birthday. And yeah, he gets a surprise and sees MJ for the first time
Oh man,
in
she's
a while.
real nice.
Yeah, Shorty's looking really nice. He's using some soft tone voice. It's like, hey, how are you? Come on, bro.
I see the way she looks at you, Peter.
Facts. How about you mind your goddamn business, Aunt May, right? So
Jesus Christ.
we learned that he hasn't been returning Harry's calls.
Oh.
They have some tension since Harry knows that Peter takes pictures of Spider-Man, which he believes is the one who killed his father. Ooh, so there's some friendship has been severed in some way between Harry and Peter.
Yeah.
Harry offers Peter a chance to meet Dr. Octavius for his paper, but quickly puts the subject back to Spider-Man, which they still have some conflict over that, right?
That was weird. So anyway, back to Spider. You're like,
Yeah, it's like, you would tell me if you knew who he was, right, Peter? Peter didn't say shit.
that's rough.
Yeah, man. I feel for Harry here a little bit, But it's like, what are you gonna do as Peter? Yeah, I killed him. No,
Didn't.
he didn't. He killed himself, right?
Yeah.
He just decided to do a backflip at the wrong time, or the right time, at least.
I mean, he did that same thing with the first guy. Like he didn't do. He could have saved him. If he could do a backflip, he could web him, bring him up. But
I don't think he had that skill yet. I'm like,
Dude, come on! You saw how he dodged those flash.
yeah, I guess.
Like he had all the time in the world to think.
Yeah, yes, yeah, because
Yeah.
he had time
So
to do this.
yeah, exactly. That's a lot of movement.
And like, if let's say he did get caught in the glider, wouldn't have that pinned him with the goblin? Because why did the goblin have the glider set to go all the way towards him?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh, yeah, there's a lot of theories as to like how crazy the goblin is.
Maybe he's trying to do some fucking suicide harakiri attack with Peter. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peter sees the mail and learns that there's a foreclosure warning for Aunt May's house. So we already know that she's low on money because pretty much Ben Parker was the only person trying to get a job in that family. It's kind of sad, man. Peter's broke. She's broke. We get a heartbreaking scene of Aunt May, giving Peter $20 and like holding back her tears. Be like, "Don't you fucking give it back, piece of shit. This is all I got." You know.
I think everyone was like, I want more lines.
That's what Rosemary said. Rosemary Harris. She's like, Aunt May's too quiet.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi's like, what are you talking about? You did the prayer scene, deliver us. Like, I was sick. She's like, I want more.
Yeah. I mean, because you notice that the dialogue is a lot more.
Yeah, supporting cast is talking a lot more in this one. They all have their own little monologues at some point that make them shine.
Yeah, I like it because these are the people that ground Peter, right? So
It's true. This is and they play a part in literally where he goes in his life. Whether he decides to still be Spider-Man or not. A lot of these people play a role in why he does the things he does and what he fights for. So it's only right. And plus, like, you know, reminding us that Uncle Ben's gone and that they're still coping with his passing, and that Aunt May really can't do it by herself. As much as she's trying to give that front strong persona, it's like, yo, you're gonna kick you out of your house, man. You're gonna be homeless. You know what I'm saying? Peter takes the garbage out, and just like the scene from the first one, sees MJ. But she's the one that's super thirsty. You see her? God, I was like, yeah, damn, girl, like, hey, take it easy. She's like, hey, what are you doing? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, I've always wanted to say something to you. It's like, and he puts her hand on his face, and he's like fucking smitten. This man is like, in Batman Forever when like Uma Thurman fucking
yeah. Then Instagram filter goes around.
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, ooh, MJ, and she's like, happy birthday, and you're like, ooh.
This guy's like, I must shoot webs. I must go and shoot webs.
I must go shoot. Give me 7 minutes. That's what he said.
Wow. Nice.
And then boom, gives him the little, I'm seeing somebody now. Well, fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like
and you tell me he was a fucking astronaut.
Yeah, he was like a Navy astronaut, fucking military dude. And of course, he's JJ's son, which makes it even more hilarious. But yeah, like, Peter gets shocked. He gets a little hurt. Like, what is this cat and mouse shit, bro? You know what I'm saying? This is what you get. This is what you chose. This woman tried to make out with you at the funeral, but you said, nah, hold that L. You know what I'm saying? So
I think he made a mistake.
Yeah. But this is the pain, too, because he knows he has to be a hero. And to be a hero, you can't have a shorty like that. Because everyone... Like, honestly, it doesn't matter if you're together or not, Peter. MJ still gets kidnapped by fucking Doc Ock. And, like, Aunt May is still getting attacked by fucking goblin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like how would that happen?
it doesn't matter anymore if you're together or not. They're still gonna fucking target him. Anyways, Peter goes back home, and we see that he lives in a small one-bedroom apartment, and he's late for his rent. Mr. Ditkovich took his last $20. Disrespectful. Because Aunt May gave that to him in a very sentimental way.
That's so good.
This guy's, this guy's a dick.
He doesn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't know. And then his fucking daughter is like thirsty for fucking Peter.
She burnt that thing.
Yeah, she's over there fucking getting moist just seeing him for some reason.
So weird.
But times are hard, man. Times are hard for Peter, dude.
Sometimes you need that Eastern European girl, you know?
Yeah, yeah. She had the little pigtails going. You know, she was cute.
It's cute, yeah.
Yeah,
She made that. She made pie or something.
Cake, chocolate cake.
Oh yeah, come on.
With some milk.
That is a keeper,
That's a keeper right there. Why would you want
dude.
MJ fucking? You know.
You're playing video games and some shorty just comes through and says, "Here's some cake and milk.
Yeah.
Enjoy." Damn.
Yeah. And she actually brings you milk and cookies. Because at that point, I'd be like expecting her to drop it down, but like, you know, that's actual cake. I'll take it. Because guys, if you don't know, cake can also mean something else. Ass, 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 ass. Ass, 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 ass. If you don't know, listen to Birthday Cake by Rihanna. Because she's not talking about the fucking pastry or whatever. Anyways.
Was though.
Anyways, that was a quick little introduction to his landlord and the girl that's obsessed with him. But the next scene is back at Oscorp with Harry introducing Peter to Dr. Octavius, played by Alfred Molina. Dude, this guy's a fucking sick actor.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've never seen Not Without My Daughter, I would highly suggest that movie because Alfred Molina plays the husband in that one, and it's like... I know he's Italian and he's playing a Middle Eastern man in that movie, but it's still... Okay. That's the only other movie I know him from. Oh, and I think he was in Knives Out or something. No, something else, but something newer. But I don't remember him. But Alfred Molina was the perfect pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, he didn't have to change his face. He just had to get the haircut.
Yeah, the haircut was definitely there.
He had the body already, the dad bod.
Yeah, stocky dad body. Looked great. And I think his overall, like, look, the modernized look was good because in the comics he had, like, a tight green,
Yeah.
like, full body suit, right? And this one is, like, a long green overcoat that look a little bit better.
It's an alternate costume. I like it.
Yeah, alternate. Yeah, definitely. You gotta buy that package to get him in. Peter and Octavius get acquainted, and we learn that Octavius has nothing but good intentions for his creations. It's always like that, right? One of which is a fusion reactor that will give the city a clean, endless energy. Ooh, who else gave New York City clean, endless energy that we know of in the superhero world? Motherfucking Tony Stark, man. You know what I'm saying? I believe at the beginning of first Avengers, he was seen underwater in New York, putting a thingy on a pipe, and that was pretty much clean energy for the city, you know? Except he did it just doing that, and he went back home and, sipped martini. Except this time, Octavius has to fucking put on metal arms, the whole shebang, just to make this energy. But just shows you how important this was, or how much of a big deal this was for Oscorp, and how tragic of a loss it was for Harry when it didn't go according to plan. You know, Peter gets some encouraging words from Octavius in relation to romance and love. This is a little confidence boost as he prepares to go watch MJ's play since apparently he's the only one that has never seen it, right? Aunt May has seen it. Harry has seen it. He's like, motherfucking Aziz from Joe's Pizza has seen it. You know what I mean? What kind of friend are you, Peter? You suck, Peter. And it's kind of shitty. I mean, it's supposed to be the best friend. Yeah, let's get real. That's not the best friend. But you're not there to support them. He feels kind of shitty about that. But then again, on the way to the theater, he gets distracted by a what? By crime. Well, first of all, his scooter gets fucking annihilated. But thanks to his spider sense, he jumped out of that real quick. And he's like, eat your vegetables, kids. And you're like, say word. That's what my mama was telling me. I guess it worked. Unnecessary scene, by the way. I don't know why that added 30 seconds of nothing to the movie. Fuck, who gives a fuck about kids?
It's a nice backflip, though.
Yeah, it was a nice backflip. But he goes into superhero mode. But that was a pretty cool shot of him saving the cop car from rolling onto people. They're like, and they're like, whoa, Spider-Man! Oh, there goes Spider-Man!
Oh man, this movie is so shallow. This is like imagining a cartoon in real life.
Pretty much, like shot for shot, cheesiness and cordiness all around. But it worked, man. As a kid, I was hyped. You know what I'm saying?
Best.
On the way to the theater, gets distracted. Peter arrives late at the theater. He gets guarded by the usher, who is played by the same actor as the wrestling ring announcer, Bruce Campbell from the first movie.
Who is this guy?
Bruce Campbell is the guy from Evil Dead 1, 2, and Army of Darkness. The guy with a chainsaw hand? Yeah, he's pretty iconic. He has like lines like good, bad, I'm the guy with a gun, or shit like that. Anyways, those were also Sam Raimi's movies. So him and Sam Raimi are like this. And he's actually also supposed to be set for Mysterio in this universe, which is why he has a line in this movie that says, you can't go in while it's playing because it'll ruin the illusion.
Oh, yeah.
That's why he says that. Bruce Campbell comes back again and pretty much guards Peter. And we see a little glimpse of Peter doing this a little bit. Like he was about to just web the guy up. But he lets it go. You know what? He's like, fuck it. I'm just gonna wait outside, listening to some woman play violin, singing the fucking old cartoon show. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man, Spider-Man. And yeah, which was an Easter egg that was not really an Easter egg because it was full out being sung. See what I mean?
Jesus.
like full out. But MJ comes out and he's about to go to her, but guess what? Astronaut boy comes in.
Yep.
Gives her a big kiss. Mwah. And Spider-Man's like, my heart. But whose fault is that, Peter? Fucking idiot.
Yeah, go shoot Ben.
Peter runs off in anger. And after a short while, seems like his powers are disappearing. He's like, what? Whoa.
He takes a fall, eh?
Yeah, he fucking falls hard. And this is already a hint at how his emotional state also affects his powers. That's like your mojo, right? Groovy, baby,
Oh, yeah, Austin Powers.
Yeah, I gotta get my mojo back. You've always had it, Austin.
So dumb. What a dumb movie.
While Peter uses the elevator to go down, he has a conversation about his suit in the elevator with some dude that just thinks it's like, a Halloween costume. And he's like, it kind of rides up the crotch. This could have been used as a callback in Far From Home when Peter says, it's a little tighter around the old web shooter. but it's okay, right? Next day, Peter tries to call MJ through a payphone, but once again, is 50 cents short
Blacked.
of letting him get to say what he really wanted to say. Somebody give this guy a break.
Guy's getting cock blocked.
Yeah, by the fucking phone operator.
Yeah. Ooh.
She's like, in order to continue to call, you gotta put more money in, you broke ass bitch. That's what he said to Peter.
Change.
Yeah. And like for younger audience out there, payphone is this thing that you that you put money
Yo,
in. Yep.
there's like 5 of them in Toronto.
5 of them left right now.
Yeah. I know where they are.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's crazy. Do they work?
I actually haven't tested, but one isn't out on the street, right? It's great.
One is out in the street.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a wild thing to see at 2020.
in the street.
Yeah, which is great because like you can just look at like every person that has to use that has to be a drug dealer. Like there's no other reason. Or a
Yeah,
time traveler. That's it. Those are the only two people that have used those. But as a kid, do you remember using the? Yeah, you used the payphone a lot. Yeah, for sure.
not a lot, but I remember in elementary I would use them to call home.
Yeah,
We're in the
same.
mall.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right by the terminal, right?
Yeah, we don't have cell phones.
Yeah. Um,
And if you meet up with your friends, how did you? Yeah, yeah.
you just put terminal. That's it. It's on MSN, right? Yo, terminal
I'm
at this
leaving
time.
now. I was like, all right, I'll leave in 20. Okay.
Yeah, and then you're like, and then you check your bag and you run out of tickets and you go back on MSN and they're not there anymore. But you're like, yo, don't
Oh
go.
my God,
And then
dude. I waited for someone for 2 hours once because I was like, I planned this.
what was the reason for not being able to show up?
They missed the bus.
Oh, yeah. Missing the bus is like crucial because like if you miss one bus, especially if you have to take two buses, that could cause
Exactly.
you to miss the next one.
Yeah, that's a 2 hour deficit. Already, it's like, you know, you miss one bus and then you get to your first stop and then you're
And you can't call a payphone. You're like, let me call the square one payphone and see if my friend is standing by there. No, that's it.
cell phones really did a fucking crazy thing to our world.
Absolutely, man. Like before cell phones, people didn't have to ask where you were every time you picked up the phone.
Yeah.
You know,
Where you at? Oh, I'm at home.
the
Duh.
fuck? Yeah. Were you on crack? But yeah,
Alright.
guys.
Called this girl's house in grade 7, and so I was like, I forgot what her name was. Starts with an A.
Okay.
Yeah, but Anna, maybe Anna.
You're like, is Anna home?
I was like, yeah, it's me, Anna. Oh, you're home. And it's like, yeah, I'm home. And I didn't think that was a silly thing to like, at the time. But yeah, now it feels silly.
That's pretty much. Where else would they be unless they, take the landline with them everywhere, right?
Well, cordless phones like, oh, so you're not out in your yard.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Right,
Cordless
so,
phones are ridiculous.
cordless phones were the shit, man. I remember, long nights, especially talking to a girl, right?
Yo, cordless phones were the next level of tech for those kinds of moments.
Absolutely. And then you're always like talking, and it's like been 3 hours, and you're always like this. You're like, you always have to check the battery, right? Because you don't want to fucking.
That's why they sell 2 of them in one station.
Yeah, yeah.
You can switch.
Man, shoutouts to old phones. Shoutouts to
Yo.
landlines. Yeah.
Do you think kids do that still? Like talk on the phone? Or do they text?
Unless you're dating somebody, then yeah. But I don't think like friends talk on the phone anymore. You know.
Oh yeah, yo, comment section. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know, man. Do you talk to your friends? Because like now, do you really need to? You have WhatsApp group convos, you have Discord, you have Twitter, you have Facebook, where like you're constantly, almost always communicating, anyways. Well, back then it was like I'm gonna call this fool right now, talk for an hour, because he has no idea what I just did. Because there's no Instagram stories to tell people,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
Fucking technology, dude. But yeah, and also let us know if you guys know how to use a payphone, because um, we're not talking about the new payphones that can text. We're talking about the old ones, man.
Just
Heavy ass fucking. Well, I don't know why it's so fucking heavy.
it's like dot ox like the wire is like
It
Doc
is.
Ock wire.
It is. Sometimes, like, the girls on the phone, they don't want to listen to me. I'm like, listen to me now.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
man. Anyways, uh, Peter gets cockblocked by a payphone. But he also keeps talking even though she can't hear him. And he explains to her that, I can't be with her because she's Spider Man. And if his enemies find out how much she means to him, they'll hunt her down. So it has never been fully said like this before, but it's always been what his intentions were from the ending of the first Spider Man. So it's nice to finally see concrete, actual statements. Once again, folks, no subtle shit in this one. It's just. Here's the reason. Full flat out. Sam Raimi doesn't give a fuck.
Exposition, I think, is what they call
Exposition?
that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where the dialogue reveals the plot.
Ah, guys, exposition. A lot of expositioning in
Yeah.
this movie, with how the plot is gonna unravel. Cut to Octavius lab showcasing his new fusion reactor to the board and Oscorp. He also unveils his assistants, which is the first time that we get to see his arms that he uses for the demonstrations. 4 smart arms controlled through his body via a spine connection through his brain. Pretty intense. Of all like the needles fucking pretty much injecting into his spine, onto the back, and then with the light turning on.
Yeah.
Like, it really shows you how connected he is to this machine that he has. And it's not just like a tool that, hey, I got a
No.
thing tomorrow. Can I use your arms for a bit? No, you can't do that. This shit is in your spine.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is fucking invasive.
well, yeah, that's your spine is like pretty much a very sensitive part of your body that can make or break yourself. But I think it also strengthens him in a way, right? Where it's like a double spine and it's made out of like hard metal or whatever. So in a way, it's actually strengthening him. And we learn later on through the accident that they've been permanently like fused together with his spine. So he literally has no choice later on but to continue as Doctor Octopus because these
Cool.
things are forever with them. Yeah. We learned that they are impervious to heat, cold, and shock, and are able to control fusion reaction where human hands can't enter. Ooh, cool. Reporter asks how dangerous it can be if the arms can take over him, and he foreshadows the fact that they will eventually take over his mind instead of the other way around. Right? He's like, I'm controlling it with the chip. These arms are completely under my control. Wrong.
So dumb. A chip? Like, are you serious?
The technology back then, you know what I'm saying? Just really he doesn't
That's
have a choice.
ex-
Yes. Once
ex-
again. Yep. Pretty
He's like,
much.
don't worry.
Yeah. And like how come that's the only reporter that asked, "Hey, how dangerous can these arms be if they take over you? If they ever do, um You know what I mean? Sam Raimi's at the back. Good question, man. You might as well just like fuck it, fuck it. Let's just show the whole script to the fucking audience. um,
That's so good.
Otto starts the fusion. So, ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. And it looks successful at first. And he's like, his eyes are glowing as the goggles go in. But it starts to go out of control sooner and later. Spider-Man saves Harry. But he's like, still gonna kill you, buddy. He's like, come on, man.
Like, chill, man. You just saved your life.
And at this time, he's like, it's just a slight little whatever,
I can fix it.
I can fix it or whatever. Um, so in this sense, sorry, where am I? Yeah, saves Harry, but Otto's wife.
That was brutal. You knew she was gonna get it hard.
Yeah, because he was madly in love with her, and was that stuff, and like the glass, like flipping with a reflection on it. She's like yelling, and then the glass in the eye. She's dead. She got caught in the calamity. You know what I'm saying? Um, that was pretty crazy in terms of like how how much of an impact that was to Otto Octavius. Because obviously we know that he loves her, and it's his dream of creating this fusion reactor that ultimately killed her, right? Which is just another tragic, um, what's it called, element for him to turn more into a supervillain, right? Like self-loathing and all that shit. Like this whole day was a real bummer for Otto Octavius. Um,
You can say that.
yeah, Otto's control chip broke when he got knocked out from the explosion, right? Like it wasn't even like subtle. Like we see it zoom into the chip and it breaks, and you're like, oh, okay. So
Yep.
thanks. That reporter is now moot. This
Yep.
motherfucker.
Thanks for the position.
Yeah, and like the scene before this was Spider-Man falling because he didn't have his powers, but I guess he has his powers here now. So okay, so I guess it's like an on and off thing. Like
Yeah.
it's like your crazy ex from high school that you're like in love with, but it's toxic at the same time. So you're like on and off relationship. So it's like that. I guess wasn't much explanation on that because he looked like he had all his powers under control during the fusion reactor thing. Anyways,
The life or death thing.
yeah. When he pulled those plugs out of the wall, did he have to do a backflip after? Like, there's so many like.
That's very extra. Right?
Yes, a lot of these things are extra. You know what I mean? Um. Anyways, cut straight to the surgery room, which is one of my favorite scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
We learned that the connections to his spines have permanently fused with his body, incorporating the mind of the arms with his subconscious. Um, and yeah, it's just he just annihilates every single doctor in that room. Those four arms,
So
you know.
brutal.
The doctor's like, can't wait to do this, guys. Right? High five, boom, yeah. Which just spells doom,
Yeah.
because obviously you want
They're
them
just
to
like,
die. But this looked
they're
like a
doing
horror film, pretty much.
well, Sam Raimi, right?
Exactly.
This is, I think he didn't have enough scary ones in the last one. Just like a lot of jump scares, but this one was like
Yeah,
slaughter.
pretty much. When the arm grabs the woman's legs, we hear like a bone crack, like oh my god, it drags her into the fucking darkness. The girl with the fucking nails scraping on the fucking floor.
That was exciting.
That's a horror movie. Like if you take that out of context and you just play that clip, you'd be like, oh, it's Friday the 13th, like X.
Exactly.
Um, guy trying to use a chainsaw backfired on him. Who saw that coming, right? Yeah, because this thing is impervious to fucking metal, I mean, to heat and cold and shock, and then a chainsaw is just gonna do the trick. No, buddy, you're gonna fucking die.
What metal is this? Like,
Oh, I don't know.
what kind of
Heavy, heavy
heavy?
metal. Oh, nice. I love how you decide when you headbang, you decide to do the twirl one instead,
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah,
the regular headbang.
I like that.
Yeah. Me and my brother do that all the time. We never do the normal headbang. We're like, yo, this is sick. Yeah.
That one looks sick, especially the ones with the Asian ones with the long hair.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
dance hall kings.
Yeah, Henry Lee from fucking uh Dragon Force. Yeah, man. That guy's fucking crazy. I asked my brother, is that real? Can he hold up the string and still make a sound? He's like, no, you're holding the vibration still. That's not real. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, is that? I tried it.
that's, that's just not real. But shout outs to him.
Fucking work.
Um, after everything's done, Otto wakes up and he finally realizes that he's a monster. He's become something else. And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Which is once again another straight out from the comic book scene of him just in the middle of the surgery room. Dead bodies all around. And even his arms are doing this motion, like
Yeah.
the same thing as him. He busts out of the hospital and he's kind of like confused of where he is, and he flips over a taxi in self-defense, and we see that his arms are now protecting him subconsciously. And then he does that fucking the
flip.
back turn, man. Oh my god, that's crazy right there. And the reason for that is because his arms are connected to his spine and his brain, so the arms also have cameras. So when he looks back there, the arms are also distinctively have to look back there as well, because that's where his optics are going. That's also how he finds out, later on Spider-Man was in the building, because he can see with his arms. He's kind of like a bee. He has like multiple visions or whatever. Yep, he finds a safe house at an abandoned port, or like a dock by the river. Yeah, that looks like a supervillain hideout. Yeah, I'll take that. Yep. Uh, Next scene is JJ creating the headline for the recent fusion incident and coins the name Doctor Octopus, which
Doctor
was
Strange. That's taken.
that's taken.
Bleecker Street.
Stream. What does that mean? And is it ironic that Sam Raimi is directing the next
That's great.
Doctor Strange? That he was mentioned here too. We get an Easter egg, yeah, Doctor Strange, and technically it was his assistant that made the name, not him, right? But obviously JJ being JJ, just takes it like a jackass. Peter was acting a little strange in that little meeting that they had, with the way Ed looked at him, it just, I don't know what the fuck was up with that. He felt like a little too shy, like he just wasn't his normal Peter self. I don't know if there was something more to that or not, but once again, I can't deep.
There's
can't-
no meaning. Just bad editing,
Maybe. We learned that he got assigned to take pictures of a high society event, but he tried to ask for an advance, but JJ just laughed at his face, which was just, give this guy a break, man. Ditkovich is trying to look for the rent. This guy can't pay him. Can't even use the washroom first, because he has that money. Then we get to hear a monologue from the villain. While he's alone in the dock, he contemplates suicide. Maybe these arms belong in the river with me. It kind of foreshadows his doom later on. Once again, no holding back, just straight up exposition.
Just Straight up exposition.
I don't know if it's a foreshadowing, if it's like extreme light on it, where it's like, um, he
No
just
surprises here.
yeah, no surprises here. Um, but he still sort of has a sound mind, but then quickly realizes that the chip is destroyed, and now he's actually talking to the arms in his head, and they convinced him to rebuild the fusion reactor. It's like, the dream is still going. The dream can still be achieved. But we can't. We would need a lot of money. So they steal. So this is why he has to result into, robbing banks and shit. And he's like,
That's so
the
nuts.
power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Once again. And he's like, nothing will stand in our way. So cheesy, dude.
He actually would be a sick Marvel character, like in a fighting game.
Doc Ock?
That'd be the level 3, with the power of my son.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, he summoned the fusion reactor? Yeah, dude, and he like fucking, dude, it puts you in there because it's like Doom, He just summons a fucking blender. Like, where the fuck is that from? Like,
yeah,
oh man, don't give me hope. Don't do this.
dude, that would be my number one pick for a character.
Doc Ock?
Omega Red's like
We've
character
seen him
proper.
already. I feel like we haven't not seen Doc Ock in. In fact, not a lot of Spider-Man people. Really, Venom was the only other one
Yeah,
there. We never got to see.
we need that yellow guy with the looks like Iron Man.
Oh, Shocker.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Oh yeah,
yeah.
he doesn't
We'll
even
see.
have powers though, just those. But I'd still dig it. Guys, Marvel, Capcom, if you're listening, get on
Rhino,
it.
give me Rhino.
Yeah, man. Why not? Juggernaut was a beast. You know what I'm saying? Although Juggernaut was a little crazy. If you bring him back, please change some mechanics because we can't have a man do super armor with every fucking move. Jesus. Um, but that's power of the bands of Sitarak. Anyways, um, after that monologue from Doc Ock, we cut to the bank where Peter and Aunt May are talking to a rep played by Joel McHale. Hey, Joel McHale, hilarious dude from Community. They got denied a bank loan, just like the Human Torch, and the toaster too. These guys can't get a break. You know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, Octavius just full out rips the safe open right behind them, right? Which I didn't know that those arms were that strong, because it's like
That's very
I
strong.
didn't know fusion reacting was like.
But yeah, it is a fusion. It's raw energy.
Yeah, I guess. He's got the long green overcoat now with the circular sunglasses. This is the modern but very similar take on his design from the comics. I think it was just perfect and it suits him well. Yeah, absolutely. Dude, the whole fight scene was a video game level.
Yeah,
The video game boss level. Like he was throwing bags of gold coins at Peter.
yeah,
Like
like a frisbee.
like yeah, he's like, "Oh, I like to take this as projectiles." And you're like, that's something you see on like a Super Nintendo where you're like, "Oh, defeat Doc Ock. He's trying to steal the bank." And it's like, "Ha ha ha, you'll never catch me, Spider-Man." It starts going fucking bags of coins at you.
Yeah,
First of all, is that a thing? Do you have gold coins in the bank?
I don't think that's like toonies or like loonies.
This was in America, right? So that's even weirder. Silver
Yeah.
dollars? It's way too much.
Well, silver, yeah, yeah,
But those were gold.
yeah.
Um, I think the last
Maybe-
time they did that was like the Western era.
Yeah, but I think that's just like the comic book. Um, I, what do you call it? Aesthetic.
Of course, yeah.
Right? It's like gold coins, but that's not.
Yeah, with like a dollar symbol on the bag. Like, where do you fucking buy your dynamite from? Acme? Like,
Yeah.
with Wile E. Coyote? Like, what's going on here? Um, But other than that, that was a pretty cool fight scene, at least. Peter is having a hard time though with his powers turning on and off, but he was still able to web two tables. That was fucking crazy. When he's like put them apart, and then one table got scrapped, but then the other one fucking slammed Doc Ock out of the fucking window.
There's no way. All that momentum.
Yeah, that's. I
Like
guess like
it was like, you know,
yeah, those arms must not be that heavy for them to
there's
fly
a
away.
wall break and then a wall
A wall
bounce.
bounce, yeah. That shot was pretty cool because like, was that practical, man? The way like he just slammed into the fucking taxi.
Yeah, they
I
look
know that
crack.
was a dummy because near the like one of the scenes, he just like Doc Ock just like goes down like a dummy, but that was really good. Shout outs to practical scenes, man. Like you already know, like the scene from Far From Home, sorry, from Homecoming, when at the bank when the laser went out. Look, we all know that wasn't an actual laser. Come on,
Yeah,
guys, right? But this one, we know that was an actual suit with arms coming out from the window and smashing into the taxi, and just good job. This is why I love movies back then that still embrace practical effects because it just makes that much more of an impact. You um, yeah, crash out the window. A gold coin rolls towards the banker rep, and he tries to take it, but Aunt May slaps it off his hands, like he did to Norman Osborn at the fucking dinner table.
oh yeah,
He's like,
dude, yeah, that was weird.
just a little bit. Otto drops Aunt May. Oh, sorry. Out of all the people that Octavius chooses to grab from from the crowd of people, was Aunt May.
Yeah,
Okay, I guess for some reason he just knew that Spider-Man would be more akin to saving her than anyone else, so he just looked for an old lady because they're the most vulnerable type. But he goes all the way up and he says, "Let her go," and he says, "Whatever you say." Fucking drop classic, right? Classic bad guy line. But Spidey saves her by webbing her up, and she hangs on with her umbrella. Like, yo, she has some upper body strength, bro. She's been in the gym doing
yeah,
pull
she's like
ups.
70. What the? She's
Yeah.
hanging by an umbrella.
She's like, oh dear, Exunge. Oh dear, what, bro? It was like, you guys trapped. You see it like coming out of here. You're like, oh man, what's going on? How much can you bench?
Jesus.
Stan Lee cameos as another random stranger saving a person's life from falling debris. You know, as forward and as blunt as these Easter eggs and, plot points are, the most subtle things is the cameo of Stan Lee. I mean, it's so quick, just like the first one, you
Yeah.
know? And this was like our first taste at Stan Lee. As a kid, I didn't know who he was. Did you? Like, were you at the theater going, "Oh my God, it's Stan Lee! He just saved somebody's life"?
Actually, I had an idea who Stan Lee was at this point.
I saw his name a lot. I didn't know what he looked like.
I was 14, I knew Stan.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I used to buy comic books sometimes, and you always see his name on the publishers, whatever. There's always a letter from Stan Lee, usually in some issues. Um, and so I kind of knew who he was, but I didn't. I can't pick him out from a crowd. Be like, hey, Stan Lee, as a 14-year-old, it's pretty crazy.
Well, actually, the Spider-Man series.
Was he
Uh,
there?
yeah, he had a cameo in the Spider-Man.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
crazy. What did he do?
I think Stan Lee as a character was like in an office somewhere. Maybe he was a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Spider-Man came in, picked him up, and they went for a ride around New York City.
What the fuck? As Stan Lee, or was it just like?
It was his voice, and it was his character. Like he looked like Stan Lee as a
Right.
cartoon.
That's
So
crazy.
What?
That's crazy. That might have been the first Stan Lee cameo back
I
in the
think so.
'90s. You know,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Stan Lee makes cameos everywhere now. You ever played Spider-Man for PS4? He makes a cameo in there.
No, I didn't know
Yeah, pretty crazy. Blew me away. It's like in a video game, Stan Lee.
that.
So you're goddamn right, fucker. I was like, whoa, it's a little crazy for Stan Lee. Um. Anyway, Stan Lee saves a person's life. Good job. Aunt May smacks Otto in the head with a slow mo, umbrella smack. Kind of loses his focus a bit. Peter saves her from falling to her death, which is pretty dope. Um, while two hot girls fill the shot as he passed by. Did you see that?
Oh, there's a lot of hot girls in this movie.
Yes.
Like, I actually forgot to mention this, that you'll see more sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things are sexualized in this. Like for some reason, the girls that are just either extras or like at the back, they're more attractive than usual.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's crazy how obvious that is.
yeah, that's why that scene when he saves Aunt May and they swing by, and then two hot girls with like very large breasts, they go on
Yep.
the screen. They're like, "Oh my god, is that Spider Man?" Like,
Like, all subtly, you know?
yeah, like
How
full
about some
out.
stuff?
They're gonna put hot girls on the screen. You're like, that's not from Spider Man. Oh yeah, there you go, Stan Lee. Wow, that's that's good that he's holding on to him like that, and not like the MJ way.
Like that.
That would be a little weird. The piggyback sounds about
No.
right. Anyways, Spider-Man saves Aunt May, and he's like, "You shouldn't. The girls like you shouldn't be hanging around like that." He's like, "Hee hee hee," you know. Aunt May got a little hot and bothered from Spider-Man. Uh,
You have to get there fast. He's
yeah,
yeah.
he's like, "Ooh." Next scene is the High Society Science Library of New York gala, and Peter gets a little conflict convo with Harry once again because he's had a little bit too much to drink um, after failing uh, from the project from Dr. Octavius, and he's still cheesed about Spider-Man. Doesn't matter if he saved him from that explosion. He wants to find him because Spider-Man killed his dad, or what he believes in. Peter sees that MJ is actually going out with JJ's son. So this is the guy that she was talking about, who is a decorated astronaut slash a military person. It's gotta hurt, bro, because this man probably has money, you know, which is what he doesn't. Bro, if you can't pay 50 more cents, first of all, 50 cents is a lot of money to continue a call. I remember 30 cents. Um,
50 cents is a lot. Maybe it was New York, you know?
oh yeah, you're right.
And this was when cell phones were coming into fashion with the rich.
That's true. Yeah, flip phones, Nokia and all that stuff. But this is you can't really compete with that man. Without having a trump card like Spider-Man, Peter Parker doesn't really have much to offer compared to the fucking astronaut.
Yeah.
You know.
It's been in space. Bitch, you've been in space.
Bitch, you've been to space. Peter finds MJ on the balcony, tries to apologize with a full-out poetry mode, looking ass. I don't know the fuck he was
That was
doing.
so lame.
Guys, this is what not to do when you've already lost your shot, made some mistakes, and you try to make it up to a girl. No. Going all fucking Dead Poet Society on a person does not make them like you. Okay? He gets shot down again because everyone else has seen her show except him. Even when he promised, I'll be there, I promise. You won't disappoint me, I won't disappoint you. Lies. This guy was a liar.
Guy's telling you lies.
Yeah, don't listen to him. Harry goes on a drunken rage against Peter, fucking slaps him twice, right?
It's nuts.
Questioning their friendship for not turning in Spider Man. Like, mans were really cheesed. No? Peter took it in. Peter knew the truth, but Peter just held it in. 2 slaps to the face? Ah, damn. See? Turn the other cheek. That's what Peter said.
It was a weak slap, though.
Yeah, and right when you think Peter's night couldn't get any more worse, the MJ's engagement was announced at the gala, and JJ told him that he had to be the sucker to had to take a picture of him. Dude, I literally said out loud, I was like, oof. I was like, oof, that hurt. Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
that's
That
Peter.
hurts.
His chest. He was fucking heart attack man that day because this man this man was going through some emotions. He was so close to Marvin's room that night. He wasn't even. He wasn't even.
He's like,
Yeah, cups at XO. Fuck. Bitches on the payphone because he doesn't have a phone. I should call one, but I'm short. 50 cents, I'm so broke. Oh, man. If you guys know the reference to that, shout outs to Drizzy. Um, this results to Peter losing his powers even more. Like, he's just back to being a regular dude now. Right? Like, poor guy. This is a little bit talking about impotence in a way. You know, if a man loses his confidence, he also loses his ability to perform certain things.
shoot webs.
Yep, shoot webs. He can't shoot webs. He can't
Yep.
even get the web shooter ready. You know.
Ah,
Um,
but it's organic.
but it's organic, I guess. I don't know, but you know, this is just a little thing that we never really got to see from Tom Holland. So I don't know if they're gonna address it like this. I don't even remember if this was a thing in the comics or in the movie, in this TV show, where Peter had trouble with his, powers. Did he?
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember.
No.
I think that's why as a kid I was so like, whoa, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Because I've never seen this before of Peter not being able to climb walls and shit. We've seen him not shoot webs because, yeah, he used to, like, run out of webs a lot. But this is, like, full out super strength, jumping abilities. Like, everything's gone.
How
This
do you
man.
survive that fall?
Yeah, pretty much. You know? Like, this man is vanilla. This man is plain Jane. Um, Cut to Otto rebuilding in his lab, the new lab. We see that things are going in motion, and his arm lit a cigar for him while he's doing work, like a fucking badass. How cool is that? Like, this guy's like lighting up joints. This guy's a rolling one, and he's making a fucking fusion reactor. My guy's multitasking. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Only fucking Doc Ock can do that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
stoner engineering right there.
Facts, stoner engineering.
Shout out to that Reddit.
Hashtag r/stoner engineering. You guys know who you are. Um, then we get a funny segment of Peter going to the doctor's office. This is why I think that this is a metaphor for impotence as well, because he's looking at it in a, I guess, medicinal way of trying to solve this problem. Um, it's kind of funny at first because you think that the doctor doesn't believe him, but doctor turned it into like
He dropped some knowledge.
Yeah, he dropped some wisdom
Dude,
on
this guy
Peter.
has been to therapy recently, I think.
Yeah, he handled that very well. It turned super sentimental, all along with like flashbacks with his Uncle Ben, realizing that he has a choice to not be Spider Man, and he decides to throw the suit away in a trash can. And
Yeah,
that shot was iconic because that was taken straight from the comic. So that was a comic book cover of an issue where they talked about Peter stopping, not being a hero anymore because of the things that were happening to his life. You know, that affected him as well. The people around him that he loved were getting hurt in the comic. So it reflects on his reasons here too. But his reasons are more direct. Like, bro, you're not Spider Man. Literally, you. It's a normal dude. You're a man.
he's
Yeah,
you're barely.
barely a man. Yeah. Um. Then we get a time passing moment, like a time passing montage of Peter living a pretty stable life, not being Spider Man. You see him, have a little more spunk in his walk. Take a load off his shoulders. He's going to school on time. He doesn't get caught up when he sees sirens anymore. And he finally gets to see MJ's play. She's a little shocked, right? She gets a little startled up on stage. She's like,
Are you glad?
ooh, that's pretty much what it is. Are you glad? And she's like,
Like, fine.
she was googly eyeing fucking Peter Parker from the theater, like as if nobody else can see that. You know what I'm saying? We know who you're looking at, bro. If I was in the theater, I'd be like, get a room. Fuck. Um, Peter tries to convince MJ not to go with the wedding. He says, telling her that he's different now, and there were things that were in the way, but they're not in the way anymore. And he said, punch me, I bleed. I was like, I was like, what? Okay, Peter, you're getting a little milady now.
Would say.
Oh, that's yes. I believe that the cultured people would probably say that. Yep. AKA the cultured man. It's just cheesy, guys. Okay, like punching me, I bleed. We get it, dude. You're trying to, woo the woman back. Um, but nope. MJ's like still getting married, bro. In a church, she complains. Proclaims, sorry, but she does notice a little difference, right? She's like, you are kind of different, Poppy, right? A little bit. Uh,
Cologne?
yeah, yeah. Cut to JJ, A homeless man found Spider-Man's suit in the trash, and this brings the headline "Spider-Man No More," which is also the title uh, of that specific comic book cover with the spider suit in the trash can. Actually, it says "Spider-Man No More," so it's kind of fitting that it's here. And of course, JJ would buy it, and it was pretty cheap, right? Didn't he pay like $100 for it or something like that?
Why, it's so cheap.
The homeless man got scammed. He would have asked for way more. Authentic Spider-Man suit would have went for thousands.
Unwashed.
Well, yeah, it has to be unwashed. It's authentic. As Peter goes on, he can't help but to be constantly reminded of the power that he is now ignoring to express. Instead of going with the sirens, he just eats a hot dog. And as well as Uncle Ben's words from their last conversation, right? He has that flashback of him in the car talking to him. Um, and then he goes to Aunt May's house and he sits down with her, and Peter confesses to Aunt May the real events of what happened the night Uncle Ben died. Really heartbreaking scene, man. This was like a really emotional scene, and Aunt May fucking left. She's like, I don't need this shit right now. I don't want this whack shit in my head. You know? Like, you lied to me, Peter, you know? I'm not saying that you were the reason why Uncle Ben died, but yeah, you were the reason why Uncle Ben died because you didn't stop the dude, you know? Your selfish, spiteful ways made me lose my husband. Now I gotta ride the dryer every night because Uncle Ben's not here
Oh my
anymore.
god.
You know what I mean? I gotta set the shower head to pulse now
Not this Aunt
Bec-
May.
because Uncle Ben's fucking Twizzler tongue ain't here to, you know, gobble up lunch every night. You know what I'm saying? Peter's
I'm
like, for the love of God, Aunt May. Um, yeah, that
trying to,
was what?
I'm trying to eat Aunt May. Jesus.
Trying to eat Aunt May. Um, but Aunt May needs some time to think about what he said. You know, it's pretty heartbreaking stuff there. But it was necessary for Peter because, you know, I think the audience, it puts a bad taste on him to keep something like that from Aunt May. You know, the truth and shit like that. Um, we cut back to Otto, who is now in the final stages of the new rebuilt fusion reactor in the abandoned dock. But he needs one more thing, and that's the little ball that he uses to do the fucking fusion, which is called tritium, right? Um,
Fair.
and who owns tritium? Yep, Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn, at his house, he's seen going through articles of Spider-Man. Like, this guy's really obsessed with Spider-Man. Like, he has, you know, documents, he has newspaper clippings, pictures of Spider-Man. Like, he's obsessed.
It's crazy.
Like,
He's actually like a detective right now.
yeah. Like, he needs a cork board with, like, the strings, you know what I mean, attached to it.
That's why he talks to Toby like that. Like he'll say one thing to like warm up the conversation and then attack you with like the Spider Man.
Good, bad, bad. Good cop, bad cop type of vibe, you know. But yeah, who can blame him, man? You know, the last person that he saw with his father when he died was Spider-Man. So you got to put two and two together. Um, anyways, Otto comes through and hangs him over the balcony for more tritium, and he tells Otto, "Bring Spider-Man to me if you want more tritium."
Jeez.
She's like, "How do I find him?" Peter Parker. He knows Spider-Man. But he's like, "Don't hurt Peter, though." You know what I'm saying? So we see a little bit of protectiveness for his best friend still.
Oh
Um,
hell yeah.
the friendship might have been, you know, damaged, but it's not completely torn off at this point, at least.
Yeah.
Um, Peter sees a burning building, just like the first movie, and then obviously there's a guy in there that's like, "Yo, there's a baby stuck in there, man." You know what I'm saying? "You're crazy. You don't want to go in there." Classic. But he saves the Asian kid trapped in a closet without a spider suit, just plain old Peter Parker. Parents didn't even look grateful. You see that when he gave the baby back? Parents are like, "Oh, fuck. I'm glad you're safe. I guess we gotta
That's
go
the
buy.
serious.
I gotta buy more food because our budget totally calls for it."
Gonna start another fire.
Yeah. Just chuck her back in there. Uh, yeah, it looks like it was a setup. I feel like they purposely put that kid in the closet and then they left
So funny.
after lighting the place up. Anyways, but we learned that he didn't even save everyone in there. A person still died up in that in the fire. So it's like even if Peter was trying to do the good thing, it was still backfiring on him because he wasn't being Spider-Man. People lose their lives because he's not Spider-Man. And reflects on his decision and asks, "Am I not supposed to have what I want?" It's a pretty heartbreaking scene, man. You know,
Christ.
he's looking out in the window and he's like, "What am I supposed like? I want MJ. I want the booty, but I want Spider-Man too. I can't have both, bro. Fuck." And
You
then
got
little little Miss Bratwurst comes in. Hi, Peter. Right.
What's up, Shorty?
Hey. He's like, hey, yo, ladies. She's like, you want some chocolate milk? I mean, sorry, some chocolate cake and some milk. She's like, where the milk come from, girl?
Oh, ew.
And I thought that was, another word for fooling around. But nope, they were eating cake. They were eating cake on the table and the bed. This man is a chick magnet, yo. This girl wants, and I feel like she was just such a throwaway. Like this scene did not do anything for this movie, really. I mean, I know it sets her up for in the third one, because they sort of, he kind of takes advantage of her obsession. But like, is this supposed to mean something?
I don't know. I think it's just something weird that happens when you're in the city.
I guess, you know. But it was just like a weird, but it's nice. I don't know the actress's name, but she played a good part. She's pretty cute, I guess. But she's like, thanks for the chocolate cake. Now get the fuck out of my room. Pretty much that's what he said. Next day, Peter goes back to Aunt May's house and finds her moving. She's like, oh, what's happening? She's like, I'm going to a small apartment because I can't pay for this shit no more. I'm just gonna do my thing. Um, and he also apologizes to Aunt May. I'm sorry for what I said, but it was the truth. I was the one who, got Uncle Ben killed. And she's like, it's okay. I have a vibrator now. I have a. I got a dildo. I got a dildo Baggins at home. That's what she said, and but she gets some encouraging, heroic words from both Aunt May and little boy Henry that was helping them, which is a horrible choice to have somebody help you move, Aunt May. Why would you want some fucking baby armed kid?
That's what I'm saying.
I think she knew.
Yeah,
I
of
think she knew that he was Spider Man.
course.
Yeah,
On me.
and she's like, yo, this boy is not like if you're not gonna be a scientist, at least be saving people. You can't be a bum the entire time. And so she chose the kid who she knew that loved Spider Man and would tell Peter, hey, Spider Man coming back? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. Kid's like, pussy. And he leaves. But this is where he says, Aunt May says, sometimes you have to, in order to be a stable hero, you have to give up the things that you want, even your dreams. And I believe there's a hero in all of us. Ooh.
Nickelback and
Yeah.
Baby.
Yup. I'm not gonna stand in the way. I flow on with the wings of an eagle.
Eagle. I like that.
Um,
And
Shoutouts to Chad Kroger, man, from Nickelback, who made the song here, and of course Dashboard Confessionals for the end credits as well. Um, yeah, this was a little speech from Aunt May that he will use later um, on Doctor Octopus, but more on that later. Transition to the rooftop. Peter tries to see if he has his powers back, but he just ended up hurting his back. He says, I'm back to my back." This was a little joke because during the filming of Spider-Man 2, there was actually a little bit of a delay because of back problems from Tobey Maguire. So I guess they put that in a little bit. MJ decides not to invite Peter because he's a jerk and does a fucking upside down kiss with her fiance just to see if he's Spider Man, I guess.
an astronaut.
Yeah, not the same one, girl. You know what I'm saying? She's like, wait, let me check something. Upside down kiss. Nope, doesn't
Yeah.
taste like Peter. She said. Um, Peter and
You're
MJ.
like, "God, that was sick," and she's like, "Yeah, I was alright."
She didn't. She's been lying. She's lying to this boy right here. Um, Peter and MJ finally meet for coffee after so long, and still chooses to keep MJ away. You know, like they're about to kiss, and he's like, "No." But as they're about to kiss, you see a fucking spider sense coming in, zoom into the eyes, um, and a reflection of MJ kissing him has now been blocked by the vision of the fucking car that was thrown into the window. Crazy slow mo scene of him saving her, pretty much the entire thing. You know, like it's not like, oh, you might get hurt a little bit. No, they literally just spiraled out of there. That was pretty crazy. He's like, Spider Sense is back, baby. That's what he said, right? Otto tells Peter, um, to find Spider Man, and I'm taking her with me as hostage. Then slams Peter in the wall, like, fucking.
He's dead.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, hey, by the way, tell Spider Man to be there, and I'm gonna fucking slam you to the wall so that you're not gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but he explodes out of the fucking rubble. You see that? He's like, "Brah!" Like a fucking Super Saiyan. Like this guy, like so many cheesy parts, dude. Like imagine if Tom Holland did that after when he's stuck under the rubble
Yeah,
from Homecoming. It's
that
like,
would be weak.
ah, let's go, man. Um, we got a little dope segment of Peter stealing the suit back from JJ right when he was about to admit that Spider-Man is not a menace. He goes right back at it again. You know what I mean?
He's a he's a he's a thief.
He's a thief, which technically he is now. So, you know, J. Jonah Jameson is not wrong. He bought that suit fair and square from a homeless man, and Peter technically, or Spider-Man technically, stole it from the office.
It's $100 right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Peter faces Otto on top of the clock tower, which was a crazy transition of him like swinging in the city, and then it zooms out from Otto's sunglasses. Like fucking so many fucking zoom ins from the eyes on this one, you know, from
Yeah,
Otto's wife reflecting on his glasses, Peter reflecting MJ's kiss, and now Peter going into fucking Otto Octavius. Like fucking crazy, man. Pretty cool fight scene,
yeah,
too, on the fucking side of the building with the watchtower, using the clock arms and all that shit. Like,
like a spears. The fuck.
yeah, dude, that was like that's fucking crazy. But they take it to the train where, yep, this is where the epic scene comes in of him stopping it. His face was just, yeah, right there, folks. You see it on the screen. This is, man, like this is obviously by the green screen, and they're not actually going, 1,000 kilometers an hour. So it's just him in the studio, and it's like, Peter, let's just put a big fan in front of you, and let's just make whatever face that you think Peter Parker would make in this scene, and it's like, oh
Oh my
man.
god, dude.
Yeah, his man. That's and that was pretty believable in a sense, I guess, of his strength as Spider-Man, using a shitload of webs, and him trying to stop it with his feet at first. Uh, we tend to forget that,
Ouch.
yeah, ouch, pretty much. We tend to forget that this is sort of a broken man recently, He just got his powers back. This is kind of a little fresh to him. He decided not to do this anymore. Now he has the fucking huge responsibility of saving, like, a train full of people. Pretty crazy. But he eventually does it. A little cool segment of the spider sense of him, like, and then he sees, like, what's out there, of, like, the fucking roadblock or the fucking
It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty
How?
crazy. Spider sense, man. Spider sense, you know.
Spiders don't do that.
There's a lot of things he does that spiders don't do. Like when I see spiders swinging with their webs, they don't go woohoo. You know what I mean? Yeah, yahoo. Um. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Anyways, he passes out from stopping the train, and he gets taken to the back like fucking Jesus. We get a little sentimental scene of New Yorkers respecting his hidden identity. You know, he's like, "Don't worry, we won't tell anybody." And even Joey Coco Diaz steps up and he's like, "You want Spider Man? You gotta go through me." "Yeah, me too, man." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." Fucking shoves them all out with his fucking arms because he doesn't
Easy.
give a fuck. Knocks Spider Man out cold, takes him to Harry in exchange for more tritium. He wraps Spider Man up in like barbed wire, and if you notice, there's a scene from the first Spider Man when Peter first finds out about his power, he sees a barbed wire, circular barbed wire with the spider web in it, and so that's kind of foreshadowing that he'll be wrapped up in barbed wire. The next one. Was that too deep? I tried. I tried to really go deep on that one, but I guess it didn't work.
Okay, come on.
Hey, he was wrapped in barbed wire. That spider web was, made around barbed wire.
Interesting.
Sam Raimi, you clever girl. Um, anyways, Harry was about to stab Spider-Man right in the chest, but he's like, "Let me see your face, you fucker." Takes off his mask, and it's like a fucking right out of a play. MJ, eat your heart out, because Harry was like, he like clenched his feet, just like classic, classic tragic play style. Yeah, he was epic. He's like, "But how?" Shocked. Peter? Peter fucking wakes up, fucking flexes out of the goddamn barbed wires, because
Ouch.
I guess, yeah, they're not gonna, you know, fucking dive into your skin. Like, that's not a very good way to
Just
break
rip
out
your
of.
skin off. What the fuck?
Pretty much, but he's Spider-Man. There's bigger things at hand. It's like, "You killed my father?" He's like, "Bro, there's bigger things happening, so let's not talk about me killing your dad right now, okay?" Where's Otto? I don't even know how Harry knew where Otto was. So it's a little plot hole, a little bit.
Well, they need to deliver the tritium. Like,
No, he came.
look at the courier, dude.
Then he came. He took it from the safe.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. So Harry wouldn't know that he's in some abandoned dock. So that's a little plot hole for you, Sam Raimi. Maybe there's a hidden or deleted scene somewhere that would have explained that plot hole, but it's a little sus, right? Anyways, cut to Otto. Now he has a huge chunk of tritium. Look like a fucking jawbreaker. And he once again tries to get the power of the sun in the palm of my hands. Icarus tings. And it's all happening at the abandoned dock where the final confrontation is about to happen. Yes, MJ tied up like a damsel in distress. Another cheesy ting. He actually doesn't need her, but he says, "If you go out there, you're gonna blab to everyone." Like, what does it matter, dude? Like, you have the fucking fusion reactor. Like, what does it matter if she gets the police? Like, everyone will have to find out you have a fucking reactor here. Anyways. uh, Peter comes in. He's like, "Hi," says to MJ right before getting found out. Because this guy's a fucking, just an idiot. But it's a pretty crazy fight, sort of. The reactor's in full effect, and even though Peter disables the power, it's still going. That fight to me was a little anticlimactic. A lot of their better fights were like at the bank,
Yeah.
And at the clock tower, this one was a little too quick, and MJ was in the way. So I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah, that was a pretty weak final fight for both of them, but still pretty crazy as it is. Peter talked to him without a mask, just like how, Norman Osborn's final weapon was his identity. Peter uses the same weapon here. And he's like, Otto, Dr. Octavius, it's me, man. Thought we was friends, baby.
Hot carrots.
Yeah. He pretty much reminds him what he has become because of the arms. It's like he also uses the same words as Aunt May. He says sometimes, Otto, you gotta give up the things that you want the most, including your dreams, aka the fusion reactor, to save people. And he said, what do we do? What do we do to stop it? He said, I can only stop it with my arm.
Leave it to me.
Yeah, leave it to me. They must listen to me. Listen to me now.
Yo, exposition.
Yeah, facts. Again, once again, straight up.
And you're like, oh, they listen to him.
Yeah, and like they could have done it more subtly, because if you really watch carefully, when the arms are under his control, the lights are white, and if they're not under his control, they're red. And you see them flickering to white after he says, "Listen to me now." He could have just Sam Raimi could have just subtly put it there with some emotional expressions, but nope.
Listen to me now.
Yep, and they listened.
So quotable. Holy crap.
Oh yeah, dude. A lot of quotable. Dude, this first movie was quotable as fuck. This one is quotable too. Listen to me now. Pizza time.
Pizza time.
Um,
That's why I was like, I gotta have pizza.
the first one was fucking dope. With fucking back to formula.
Yeah.
Fucking impressive.
Don't tell Harry.
Don't tell Harry. Finish it. You're from evil. We got when he sees fucking MJ at the balcony. Hello, my darling. Oh my god, so good. And this one too, Avenge Me. It's fucking good ones. Otto sacrifices himself and goes down the river with a fusion reactor, and he's like, "I will not die a monster." Ah!
Godlike.
Fucking yeah, fucking sinks to the bottom of the fucking East River. I'm guessing in New York, alongside his dream, and with the arms as well. Meanwhile, Peter is still trying to fucking. His identity has finally been revealed to MJ, and he confesses his love for her, while he's trying to fucking hold up a side of a building. And they both swing out of there from what though? You see that scene where they like swing out, and you're like, "There's no buildings."
Helicopter.
Yeah, it was so rushed. Like, oh, let's just swing out of here,
So dumb.
Oh man, oh man. You see a lot of the flaws, a little bit of the flaws. As a movie as a whole, it's still good, but you can't help but to see some, some sus stuff, some weird stuff. Then he makes a fucking super cheesy ass giant web. Oh god. And he like crawls towards her like a fucking spider.
That's not hot. That is not hot, Toby.
Yeah, that's oh dude. I remember watching it, I'm like, what? X.
Come on, man. My mom's here.
pretty much. But Peter at the end, still can't let them be a thing because Spider-Man will always have enemies, and I'll always be Spider-Man. Oof. It's a big oof. MJ returns to her fiance, hugs him, but has the eye on Spidey. You know, it's a little dramatic. He like swings off into the fucking night, like fucking Batman. Um, Cut to Harry in his house. And he starts to go crazy. Starts to hear a voice in his head. And guess what? It's his father, baby. It's
Wow.
fucking Goblin Poppy, you know? Playing with his head. He sees his own father in his reflection. He said, "You must avenge me." "No, I can't. He's my best friend. Avenge me." "No, avenge me!" Fucking crazy. He throws a fucking dagger into the mirror, which is, oh, guess what? That's where his fucking hidden base is for the Green Goblin. Duh.
Oh yeah.
Dun
That's,
dun dun.
so why didn't Harry figure out that maybe he got killed for a reason?
Yeah, I don't know why he still hasn't put that in his head after himself getting attacked by the Green Goblin at the Macy's Day Parade. Maybe Spider-Man had a good reason for killing your dad. I don't know. You know, but that didn't really click with him. Not until later on. Anyways, Mary Jane walks out on the wedding. JJ, oof to his catering bill, because that's all he cares about. She runs straight to Peter, tells him, "I don't give a fuck if you're Spider-Man. I want your web all over my face, baby." She says.
Wet bomb.
Yeah. Then they go for a quick makeout sesh. A little aggressive on the makeout session. You see that?
That was too much
Yeah.
for the audience.
Yeah. That was a little too a little sloppy there.
Yeah.
Uh,
All the guys had to be like, let's stay until the end of the credits.
yeah. Yeah. Let's quickly make out through these credit scenes. Till he hears the sirens going on, and she delivers the line, classic Spider-Man line: "Go get him, Tiger."
Wow.
And
Should have said, "Go get him, Spider."
"Go get him, Spider." um, and she kind of looks off into the to sunset, but it's not a happy toned look, and even the music, the score playing during that time is not a happy score. It's actually a little melancholic.
Smart. It's a very
Melon.
smart way to end it, because it's like, yeah, he's right. We're gonna have enemies, man.
Yeah, and it's like it's true. Like, I'm not. I would love to spend more time having a makeout session, even making Spidey babies with you in my apartment, but I'll always be Spider Man.
It is a part.
Yeah, like I gotta go. I gotta go save some people. I gotta go, fight some bad guys. I gotta go help the cops. Like, it's not gonna be as glamorous as having a normal boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm saying, um, it's kind of like a bittersweet ending, because Peter got the girl, but did he?
Or no.
You know,
In like Charles Barkley, is he a Hall of Famer? Yes.
does he have a ring?
No. See, sometimes you get the right stuff for the right reasons.
Is that a
Vince
song?
Carter never had a ring, but played in
He could have.
4 decades.
He could have. He had the chance to retire with the Raptors that last year with Kawhi, and dude, he took a fucking deal from
Atlanta,
where was he playing?
ATL.
Yeah, for like 50K or something like that. Okay, maybe it was like 500K. All right, 500K.
Hey, what the fuck?
Yeah, 500K for a year. Like, that's what he took.
I make more than.
Vince Carter.
Okay, but actually, I don't need to make 50K. 50K, so I can't even say that.
Yeah, I don't even make 50K. But yeah, like he could have easily got back to the Raptors, but nope. He said no thanks to the ring. I'd rather be a loser. Shout outs to Vince Carter though, one of the goats in Raptors franchise history. Put us really on the map for the first time. So shout outs to him. But yeah, this ending was not really the typical ending that you'd find, especially from the first one. The first one had a much happier ending of Peter, screaming in joy as he swung through fucking. through.
It kills me every time he does. Like,
Yeah, man, yeah. Like,
I mean, it is awesome to do.
yeah, but express yourself too much there. But this time,
So
his
key.
his swinging into the sunset is filled with sirens and turmoil. Seeing
Cloud.
that the work is never done, and that to be a hero, sometimes you have to feel pain, aka the pain that MJ's feeling. I just walked out on a wedding on you, man, and now you gotta save a kid from a burning building. You can't let this motherfucker burn just so that we can
Yeah.
spend the night with some Netflix. You know what I'm saying?
This guy's doing fireman's work for free. Yeah.
Facts. And
That's why she's like, I just left this spaceman, you know, with a ton of money, inheritance
up.
for your, den plus outdoor bathroom
Yeah.
app.
And what do
Live.
I see? Why do I see two plates here with? I see morsels of chocolate cake. Was there another bitch in here? You know what I'm
The
saying?
chocolate on your face.
Motherfucker. Is it chocolate? This is doo doo, baby. Ah. This crackhead stole a motherfucking candy bar from my car. Broke the window and everything. Um, yeah, that was such a bittersweet ending for a movie that was supposed to lift our spirits. And honestly, the whole movie sort of has a bittersweet tone of,
Yeah.
being a superhero, being all that, but at the same time living a such bad luck life. Like this is Spider Man. This is the guy that has superpowers, and he's able to swing from building to building, super strength, climb on walls, but this guy can't get a cocktail or a hors d'oeuvre at a high society gala for the life of him.
It's always running out.
Yeah. Like, if Aziz knew that he was Spider Man, he wouldn't have fired him from his job. He would have gave him awards and thanked him for saving the city, but Spider Man does not have the luxury to reveal his identity. Which is what really amazes me about Tom Holland Spider Man, because right already in the third movie, the whole world knows who he is. You know, Such a change up from Tobey Maguire working endlessly to keep his identity, and now
Yeah.
in the newer Spider Man, he's out and about. I'm Peter Parker, I'm Spider Man, or at least that's what I think is about to happen for Spider Man 3. Shoutouts to Tom Holland for posting that quick Instagram and story where he says, just touched down in Atlanta. Time for Spider Man 3, baby. I was like, let's fucking go, dude. And if I see Tom Holland in an Instagram story with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, I will throw up.
Follow right now.
I will throw up, and I will quit my job because that is just unreal. And of course, folks, I don't want to think about it too much right now. What the possibility is of the next Spider-Man, because yeah, they just hired Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire to be in it. And as much as all these articles are saying that it's gonna be the next multiverse, live action version, they can always rip our hearts out, like Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin, or Spider Man 3 with Venom, you know. There's always a possibility of a disappointment, just like Peter Parker not making it to MJ show. So let's just calm down, okay? Let me know in the comments below what you think is gonna happen, and if you say multiverse, I'm gonna block you. Okay, I'm gonna report you to YouTube for being lame, for being a sheep. Tell me some other things that you might think happens. And plus, if you think a multiverse is coming, what else do you think is gonna happen alongside um, that introduction to multiverse? You know, are we gonna see? I don't know. Maybe a Doctor Octopus cameo, a Willem Dafoe cameo. If that new building that they're building over the old Avengers Tower, if I see Willem Dafoe in a business suit with a green tie, I will lose it.
That would be over for me. I'd be like, this. There's nothing that Disney can't do.
Yeah. I'm gonna go up to my grandma. I'm gonna tell her back to formula. That's what I'm gonna tell her as I choke her and slam her out of the window. Finish it! You know? But of course, the possibilities are endless. With the thoughts of multiverse, anything can really happen. And right now, MCU has the money. They have the technology to give us something cool. I mean, guys, if you don't think Far From Home was sick, you're fucking blind. You're Matt Murdock. You're Daredevil. Because you don't know what the difference is between good and bad CGI. Because that shit, everything in the MCU so far, has been beautiful. And as much as we appreciate Sam Raimi's practical effects, he had to work what he had in 2002 and 2004. So let's not blame the man. But,
Blame him.
you know, let's blame him for the cheesy dialogues. Let's blame him for the punch me, I bleed. And,
Oh, I have never cringed so hard.
you know, and nothing will stand in my way. Nothing! When was the last time you heard a villain actually yell that out loud?
Ironically, not lately.
Yeah. You know, even Baron Zemo, who had this crazy plan, was like, he didn't even say anything cheesy like that. He just said the Avengers will fall from the sky like Sokovia. And I was like, damn, that's fucking.
That's a real villain right there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, fucking Willem Dafoe is over there going, hey. Dude, when he's smiling with the fucking news article, oh man. I'm like, man, this is, you might as well,
He's scary.
yeah, you're Dracula, dude. You're a fucking gargoyle. Like, you are a goblin. Like, I hope he comes back as Hobgoblin. I really do. Because I feel like, you know, his body comes out from the fucking coffin, you know, because I believe that's how Norman was in the comics. How he became Hob was there was leftover side effects of the gas that he inhaled, and it kind of made him immortal a bit. But that was because, well, you know, for comic readers, you guys will probably comment, be like, "There's been a million Hobgoblins, not just Norman." Yeah, I know, but you know, it'd be nice to get him. But
That would be
anyways,
cool.
that was our analysis, as deep as we can get with Spider-Man 2. Everything here is pretty much two-dimensional, you know, much like comic book pages. It's very on the surface level type of narrative. It doesn't really have a lot of Easter eggs or deeper symbolisms as we usually get from, you know, superhero movies like the MCU. So the discussions around this movie is kind of what we see already. You know, pretty straightforward plot of a tragic villain with an even more tragic superhero that has gone through some times and learned that to be a hero is to live a life of pain. Because, well, you can't help it. It's like Tony Stark. Pepper Potts has been in danger. You know, same thing goes for any other superhero who has a loved one. This was something that we see that we haven't seen at least in 2004 from a superhero movie. Because anything that we've seen in the movie so far has been what? Superman, Batman, and we all know they don't love anyone. You know, Lois Lane at that point didn't even know who Clark Kent was. Um, X Men, what? Cyclops losing Jean Grey. We already know. He was a dick. We didn't give a fuck about him.
Yeah, we're rooting for Wolvie.
Exactly. We're like, hell yeah. Smack that ass.
Hey, the short guy.
Yeah. The short, well, technically he's short, but Hugh Jackman is a pretty tall actor, so he didn't really have that thing. But guys, let us know what you think about the next Spider-Man's gonna be. And next week we are going to be doing, whew, which, from my memory, is the weakest of the three Spider-Man 3. Um, but
Yeah.
I hope that it persuades me to think otherwise in this screening as an older adult, because I really want to give it a chance of making it better than what it was. Am I looking forward to rewatching it? Not so much, but I am excited to finally end this trilogy, of course, and seeing Harry, because that's pretty much Harry's.
His arc.
Yeah, this is Harry's arc in the next one. A lot of things have been building up to Harry's final form in the third movie through one and two, especially with starting out as Spider-Man, Peter's best friend, to you know taking over his dad's company and obsessing over Spider-Man, and finally finding out who Spider-Man is as Peter Parker. And so this ultimately leads him to the dark side, or should I say, the green side, because during MJ's wedding, he was seen wearing a green bow tie, foreshadowing.
So lame.
Yeah, I guess this man is a Power Ranger. Power Rangers always wear the colors of their Rangers in their casual wear. But yeah, more on that later. Um, Let us know what you think about the deep dive analysis, or just a dive analysis at least. Let us know the things that we missed, although highly doubt there's really anything worth talking about that we missed. But if we did, let us know in the comments below so we can delete them. And join us next week for the final Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 3. Till next time, guys. Peace.